and work and formal and informal sectors of work in Iran for women. Iran currently has 77.45 million population, so that's one of the biggest country in terms of population in the region. And I want to define that who count in workforce. According to the Labor Ministry of Iran, anybody who is 10 years old, minimum of 10 years is the minimum, the criteria for being counted as part of the workforce. And also the employed defined as if you work 1 hour per week, you can be considered employed, okay? So these criteria are very important when we talk about the statistics and numbers. So I thought I'd share that up front. So like other countries, the work of women is divided between formal and informal sectors. So what is the difference of formal and informal sectors is that the formal work has benefit, wages, and salary, and the informal work globally has is 2 criteria under informal work. One has no benefit, they don't have any benefit, but there are some that they have work, they have gainful employment in informal sector, but they are majority of the work that women are doing globally and in Iran are unpaid work. It's not even considered in national gross production of the country. So it's not creating exchange value, it's a use value. And that's the majority of the work that women are doing. And just globally, women do 2.5 more times in unpaid work globally and in Iran. So the same trend is true in Iran. So I'm going to talk about in the situation of women in 2 areas, education and employment. There is a huge gap, the biggest gap that you can find in the world in that term. In terms that 65% of higher education are women, and women's employment is 11%. So you see a gap of close to 50% between the women who are skilled, who are educated, and their chance to enter the workforce. This is the biggest, to my knowledge, I teach women studies off and on. This is, to my knowledge, the biggest gap that we see between education and participation in the workforce. So some of the policies that are happening in Iran, I don't want to lecture about the political situation in Iran. I think we all know, have an appreciation of that. But some of the policies consistently been to gender re-engineering society. When I say gender re-engineering the society, meaning there has been policies consistently to push women out from the public space to home, because the dynamic of home and work environment, public and private dichotomy in Iran is a very clear, and it's an ideological thing, because the main role of women is defined by people in power as their contribution to family and private spheres. So in Iran, we have one of the 7 million women are in informal sector. 7 million overall participating in informal sector. From that 7 million, 1.5 million are women. And so that's one statistic. Majority of people in informal sectors, which is consistent to the global pattern, are women. And we have 29.5% of women working in private sectors, okay? Public-private sectors. So some of the policies that recently, I'm talking about only the last maybe 5 years, some of the policies at micro level may benefit women. For example, if you have childbirth, you have 9 months pregnancy, off time. Women who have children, they get 2 hours every day of the 8 hours to spend with their family. And also, if you are breastfeeding, you can technically breastfeed your child up to 6 years, and you get time off from work. So these criteria at micro level may benefit some women, okay? But without having any quota for employment of women, this has turned against the women's participation in workforce because private sector don't want to hire women because it's very costly for them. Because if they have child, they have to give them. Because there is no enforcement of affirmative action. So in the absence of that enforcement, all these benefits at micro level, which women take advantage of it, may in macro level is not beneficial for women. It's pushing women from public space, workforce up. Oh, I'm sorry. And then one more thing I can be in conversation after. But the other thing is there is a bill in House of Representatives of Iran that will pass, and that is early retirement for women. We have 3 million women in workforce in Iran. With this bill of early retirement, we're going to push out 1 million women from workforce. So the participation of women in workforce and having gainful employment, having job security, it will even more in danger with this bill because many women, those 1 million women, would take advantage of it. And but then at macro level, it's even shrinking the role of women in workforce and having gainful employment in women in a country that there are many discrimination against women and girls. Thank you.